Hey everybody, Kevin at Woodcraft here, and today we're going to make one of these cheese slicer kits. These make great, quick, last-minute gifts, and they're one of my favorite ways to use up offcuts. In fact, I've got this piece of Serraria rosewood that was already almost the perfect size. It's about 7 inches long, and I trimmed it down to 4 3/4 inches wide because I'm going to be using one of our smaller kits. If you're using one of the large kits, all the steps are going to be the same, but your measurements will vary, so be sure to refer to the instructions that come with your kit. First thing we have to do is drill a 1/4 inch hole on the end of the board, 2 7/8 inches deep. In order to locate that hole, we're going to measure on the right end of the board 4 1/4 inches out to the far side. You can set up a fence to do this on your drill press, but you want to make sure your hole's centered. So one of my favorite ways to do this is with a doweling jig. You won't be able to get the full depth with the doweling jig on, so you're going to go most of the way, take the jig off, and then use that hole as a guide to drill the rest of the way. A little side note here, on the large kits, you need a hole that's 3 7/8 inches deep. That's longer than most bits I've come across, even without the doweling jig. So I personally like to use this 10-inch long bit from Fish. Now once we've drilled our hole, we're going to measure from the side with the hole 2 inches in, and we're going to make a single saw curve on the face of the board. Now the instructions say 3/8 of an inch thick, but depending on how thick your material is and how centered you have that hole, it might change. We want the saw blade to be just a hair above that hole that we drilled, because when we slide the hardware in, we need room for the wire to fit over the hardware. Now to make it a little nicer, we'll give it an edge treatment. And as much as I love chamfers, I think a round over looks really great on these cheese slicers. Then you're going to sand it like normal. Because this is a kitchen kit and it's going to come into contact with food, you're probably going to want to wash it. So make sure to raise the grain while you're sanding. When it comes to finish, you can absolutely just treat this like a cutting board and use your mineral oil and your beeswax and you'll be totally fine. But technically, since you're not actually cutting on the wood, you could use something a little more durable if you wanted to. Now for final assembly. You'll notice your hardware bar has a long end and a short end with a hole in it. We're going to put the handle onto the short end with the hole in it, but we're not going to install the set screw yet. Then we're going to take the long end and we're going to feed it through the hole that we drilled just until we see it show up in the curve. Then we're going to take the other end of that wire and loop it around the bar and push it the rest of the way in. We're going to rotate that handle up to tension the wire, and now you'll install the set screw. You may have to pull the bar out a little bit so that your wire lines up with that kerf cut. And now you're ready to cut the cheese. If you'd like to pick up some of these cheese slicer kits or anything else for your woodworking needs, be sure to head over to your local Woodcraft store or online to woodcraft.com.